Hey everybody. I see people are still joining. I'm gonna wait a couple of seconds. Hello, hello. Hello everyone. Wherever you are, welcome. Okay, people are still joining. We're just gonna wait a couple more seconds. Hey. Okay, I guess we can get going. So, hello everybody. Welcome to Kagi's 2024 year in review event. This is the third that we are doing. Very excited to be here with you and share our achievements across the product portfolio and celebrate you, our user community. We have a really packed schedule. We want this to last about 90 minutes. So have that in mind. We'll have 7 presentations going through our entire product portfolio, and we'll wrap up with the questions and answer session at the end. David, can you post the link to the forum where people can post their questions for the questions and answers in the Zoom chat, please? So let me just say a couple of things. We have, as a company, this is our second year in operation. We are very grateful for all the wonderful customers that we have, now crossing 35,000 paid customers, and when including family plans and team plans, over 40,000 paid customers. One of the metrics that I sort of measure our impact on the world is how many what is the equivalent, what is Kagi's equivalent of Google in searches? And right now we are 7 seconds of Google daily searches. So Kagi makes as many searches as Google does in 7 seconds. So that might seem small or big, depending on how you look at it. But every search there is a paid one, deliberate, and a voice for better web. And that's how I look at things. That's making significant impact. For the agenda, quickly, we're gonna go through Orion browser, followed by Kagi Assistant, then Kagi Search. Then we're gonna talk about Privacy Pass. We're gonna talk about the newly launched Team Plan. Then we're gonna switch to Kagi Translate. We're gonna talk about our user community, and we're gonna finish with a questions and answer session, and I'm gonna try to answer every single question posted by you. With that said, let's get started, and I'm gonna hand it over to Dinesh, the team lead for the Orion browser.
Hello, everyone. Here's a quick overview for Orion, like what we have achieved in last 1 year. So I'm gonna start the presentation. Okay, here we go. So as an overview, we had 11 beta releases in past year, 50 plus new features, 600 plus improvements, 35 plus web extension related fixes, and some of our major features which we are going to demonstrate. The first one is compact tab. This was the most upvoted feature, and here's a quick demo for this. Yep. You can enable it from settings, from the tabs preference. You can even minimize the toolbar, so it would be the thinnest toolbar for the browser. Next would be color tapeworm. There were 128 upvotes, and here's a quick demo for that. You can enable it into settings, appearance preferences, and enable it. So website tint. So you will see a website theme color on selected tab. It's similar to Safari. And even you can get this when you are using vertical tabs. We also have some customization for color where you can use your own custom color. You can choose your own. So you can decide how your browser should look like. And the selected color will be applied to every website. Next feature was page tweaks, where we have inbuilt dark mode and native element blocker. Here's a quick demo. You can toggle dark and light theme. You can increase or decrease font size. You can choose your own font for any website. So it's fully customizable. If you want to erase any part of the website, just pick it and remove it. And on next reload, you will get a small notification which will remind you that, okay, you have some customization on this page. You can reset that if you don't want, and every blocked element would appear again. And you can even view a preview, like what you have been erased on the website, and you can just undo this and okay. Next feature is link preview. We implemented a pop-up for previewing links. By default, there was a WebKit inbuilt, so we just removed that and used our own. And like previously, when you click any external link, you get a new tab in the browser. But as of now, we have a new preference in browsing for open external links in preview. So enable it. And then if you open any external link now, you will get a pop-up. So you don't need to flood your browser window with lots of new tabs. And if you want to open this in browser, just expand it and you will have the page on the browser. Okay, next feature is auto update web extension. That was also top upvoted post. 255 users upvoted this. Here's a quick demo. You can just use the automatic update, or you can just update manually. So you can see it's fetching detail from the web extension store and getting new version information. So you can see 4 extensions updated. And even if you don't want to update any specific extension, you can go into options and select do not update. So next time, whenever auto update will happen or you will update all the extension, this web extension will not be updated. Okay, moving to next feature, which is automatic picture-in-picture. Here's a quick demo. Like if you are playing some video on YouTube, switching to another tab, and you lose the context, like what video I was playing. So we just added one website setting as picture-in-picture. You just set it to automatic, and as soon as you will switch to another tab, you will see, okay, the video just popped out as PIP and switch back to the tab and the video will return back to normal. Moving to next, passkey support. 200 users supported for this. Here's a quick demo. Now you can sign in with your passkey. We even added autofill support for passkeys, like you can see. Okay, here's a passkey. Select it and you can sign in. Moving to our next feature, which is Apple Pay integration. As of now, Apple started an integration option for third-party web browsers, where third-party web browsers can use Apple Pay using this kind of code, where you need to have an iOS device having iOS 18 and later. You can just scan the code and you can continue your payment on your iPhone. Next feature, Safari web extension support. Previously, we had no option to install Safari web extension. Now we have a small demo. Go to extensions, add extension, install from disk, select the Safari web extension, come with the downloaded app, and you will see, okay, here's the extension, Viper Extra, and here you can see this is installed. And you can also see in the extension manager, okay, this is installed from Safari. Next feature, custom start page background. Recently, we had a hacky way to have custom start page background, but now we have an option similar to Safari. Here's a demo. You can just select your custom background image here, and here you go. Moving to next feature, which is writing tools. We have integrated Safari-like writing tool support. You can see in the screenshot here. Like in other browsers, you will see the writing tools window outside on the browser window, but as we are using WebKit, we also customize some stuff in WebKit code, and we can use the writing tools straight into the window, similar to how Safari do. Moving to next feature, we have some other smaller feature like RSS speed availability indicator in the address bar. So if your any website you are navigating has RSS speeds, you can see all the RSS speeds in the pop-up, and you can register with the RSS speed with your default RSS speed reader. We have an indicator for web app. If any website have a manifest file for web application, you can just click on the icon displayed in the location bar, and install it. We also added microphone and camera indicator. Whenever you are streaming on Google Meet or any video conferencing, you can see the indicator similar to like Safari do. We have new indicator for suspended tabs. Like previously, we were just dimming the tabs which are suspended, but now we have a small indicator for more prominent view. We also added Touch ID support. Whenever you are using autofill, you can just directly use your Touch ID and autofill instead of having a separate prompt. We also added support for having copy clean links where all the trackers with the URL will be removed when you copy the link, and here you go. That's all. There are a few more smaller features, but as time limited, these are the main things. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dinesh, for the great presentation. I invite everybody to download and try Orion browser. We currently have it available on Mac OS, iOS, and iPad OS. And we are going to start development of Orion early next year on the Linux platform. So I'm happy to announce that while Linux, where Linux has native WebKit support, Windows does not yet. So we are waiting and trying to talk to Apple to improve the WebKit support on Windows so we can port Orion to Windows. But in the meantime, we're going to start at Linux. That's all for the Orion browser. Thank you, Dinesh, once again. And we are moving on to Louis, who's going to present Kagi Assistant.
Hey everyone. If I'm sharing my screen. So let's dive into the assistant journey this year. Early 2024, this is how the assistant looked like. So we had, this was the first version of the assistant. There were 3 modes: research, code, chat, or 4 modes, and custom, that allowed you to set custom instructions. The research mode had an expert and a fast variant. You could set lenses to filter your search results, and you could even upload files. Throughout the first quarter of the year, we kept adding some of these features. They weren't all there in early 2024. And at the same time, we basically began work on the next version, and that's the version you have live. The assistant, the first thing I would highlight is that we offer basically all the top tier models from the major providers: OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Mistral, etc. And we will continue updating this list as new models come out. We completely revamped the interface, as you can see, comparatively to the slide I just showed. And you can. One of the interesting concepts that didn't exist before is that actually we save threads now, or we allow you to save threads. By default, that does not happen. So it kind of has a privacy first approach where threads just last for a maximum of 24 hours. And this is mostly for debugging reasons. So if there's an issue, you can point it out to us and we can actually trace it back and try to solve it. So there's a default 24-hour retention. But if you want, you can switch the mode. You can save the threads forever. And I'll show you how. So through the assistant settings, you can basically toggle that. So you can keep the thread retention into 24 hours or change that forever. And you can also do it dynamically, actually, as you create a thread, it shows up in the sidebar, and then you can actually save it through the sidebar itself. I'll show you in a second. What else? So one of the most powerful things, at least for me personally as a user, that I use the assistant for is what we call custom assistants. So it allows you to set, I have here an example, it allows you to set a set of instructions. It allows you to give that to an LLM. And then you can invoke the LLM or trigger the LLM through a custom bank, which I'll do in a second. This example here, for example, this example I have here is to take the text I'll pass onto it and basically give it a score from 0 to 10. And if the score is below 10, to rewrite it against a set of criteria like clarity, conciseness, readability, and provide that rewritten version. So let's try to do that. One very cool thing of if you actually use a bank is that you can, I'll paste this thing here. You can throw it immediately in your browser's omnibar, and it will trigger my text review. Oh, okay. There you go, the live demo. So it triggers the text review and should give me my rewritten text. There's something happening. That's a terrible prompt, it seems, because it makes the LLM go haywire. Should have tested this beforehand. So there we go. I throw a random piece of text, it gives me a revised version, and I can do that immediately from the omnibar of the browser. This is an example. You can create this seamlessly through the model picker we have here. I'll give you another cool example using another feature. So agent comments, set here a custom bank, agent comments. I'll give you this custom instruction that was actually messing it up because this is written in an instruction-based way. So it's kind of hijacking the text review. And now if I fetch this, for example, this thread from Hacker News, what this is doing is summarizing the themes of the opinions expressed here, including quotes where appropriate, include direct quotes in quote markers for each theme. So basically it gives me what are people basically discussing, and it quotes users. So it quotes their text. So if I would do my new custom assistant, Hacker News comments, and drop there the URL, it should first fetch those comments and then process them and give me that summarized version of what's being discussed. So this is another example I personally use of what you can do with LLMs and how you can actually use Kagi's custom assistants to do that. The new assistant also offers you you can continue the discussion by, you can change the model now, you can remove internet access. Let's say I already have the context I want, so I don't really necessarily want it to, I don't necessarily want it to access the internet again and get confused. I just want to ask, for example, what's the overall sentiment in that thread? This thread was about best practices of software development. And the different themes discussed in the Hacker News thread. And you can, for example, just easily change the model in the follow-up question to something else, remove a web access so that the model focuses on what already has as context, and continue that discussion. And of course, the most important thing we introduced with the new assistant was full access to Kagi Search. So our previous version had access to Kagi Search, but a little bit more constrained. The new assistant basically was built with new infrastructure and without any constraints in regards to how it actually fetches data online. Now, we've learned a lot from this iteration. So this is where we currently are, but there's already some other work currently happening. So we're already building the next version with a more powerful and versatile interface. I won't give a sneak peek of that today, but we can already show you something that we have our distinguished members and contributors testing at the moment. We've learned a lot, and we've tried many different iterations that some were shipped, some were not shipped, of how we can actually leverage these LLMs and give our users the best possible experience and a tool to summarize, to help people understand and seek knowledge with this technology. And we came to the conclusion that the main idea is that our biggest asset or the best thing we can offer you is our search. And We aim to have the assistant base its answers on only on cited resources and especially when corroborated with many different sources. But additionally, we are equipping it with several other tools to validate its answers and assumptions so that when you're starting a thread, currently, basically, we're giving you one tool that you can pair with an LLM. Moving forward, we want to actually automate some of that for you. So you will have the new Kagi assistant that will actually have an access to not only web, but some other tools, allowing basically us to pair the power of the LLMs with a lot of different tools we already use on different products, and ideally give you a much more accurate answer that is actually grounded in search, and in computation. I'll give you an example of that. I don't know if I'm running out of time or not, but this is a thread, for example, that was live. I saw it live somewhere, and it was failing on a lot of different services out there. And we saw, and I just tested it quickly on our new assistant, and it was actually quite fast. So end-to-end time was less than 8 seconds. And actually, it didn't necessarily show this time that well the capabilities of it, but it actually took a fairly complicated query. It broke it down and was able to retrieve an accurate response with grounded again on actual data. So showing you, for example, this is not always the most intuitive thing, how you can save threads. I have my settings on 24 hours. So if I don't want these threads to go away, I can simply save them like this. And if I want, I can also manually delete them. I can share them. I can add them to quick access. Yes, so this is the gist for the assistant. I have a couple of other interesting insights to show you just very quickly. The first one is, again, pretty much the reason why we're investing so much, and we're already hard at work on a new iteration of, and basically taking all the learnings we had for the last few months into a new version of this product, is that we realize that, for example, the majority of our users and the way actually these type of products are used, the default experience is very important. So the default model, most of the interactions, are with a default model. So it highlights how important that default experience is. People want to come to such a product, ask a question, and get a very accurate and relevant answer. The second interesting insight from the last few months is we often see on most LLM benchmarks, they focus a lot on one-shot queries. And when we actually look at our usage data, just how many new threads we've had against follow-ups, you will see that majority of usage is actually, a real life usage is mostly on multiple prompts. It's much more common than single prompt. So being able to build, and that's the reason why we're also investing a lot of time in thinking about the new assistant experience. Because we came to so it's also grounded in data, as in it's clear that people will ask a question, but then we'll continue the discussion within the thread, and making sure that that's as seamless as possible is key to the user experience. So we're continuing to invest on that. To conclude, I wanted to say a big thank you to everyone involved in building this. It has so the Kagi AI design and software development teams have done an incredible job. This was all built from scratch with completely new infrastructure, and we're very proud of what you've accomplished, and much more exciting new stuff to come. That's it from me.
Thank you very much, Luis, for the presentation. Guys, you've seen the current evolution of Assistant. We are working very hard already for the next generation. This is already in testing with some of the users, should be out in January. Another thing we plan to do very early next year is to make Assistant available to all our plans. So including starter and professional plans. The limitation will be access to models. Otherwise, if you can't wait to try all these features, you can always get the latest assistant by subscribing to the Ultimate plan. Thank you, Lois, once again. And we are now moving to Zach and Kagi Search.
Sure. Hey, let me get set up really quick. Can you hear me okay? Make sure my audio.
Yep.
Okay, good. Share screen. Okay. Okay. Is that visible to everyone? Yes. Okay. Great. Okay. Hey everyone. Zach, our tech lead for the search products. So right now we're going to be going through kind of the highlights of our changelog over the past year, and celebrating some milestones and some cool things we launched, and maybe you'll find something you didn't even know we had yet. So yeah, so let's get right through it. January, we kind of started off strong by, we met a milestone of 20,000 members, and we celebrated that by launching an initiative to, give all of our customers t-shirts that we, homemade ourselves, basically through our own manufacturing pipeline. But so that kicked off then, right into February, which was let's see, missing an image here, but theme of kind of securing the product a bit. We added things like 2FA, and then we also expanded ultimate features, which included like our early versions of the assistant to family plans. In March, we launched an integration with Wolfram Alpha, which powers a lot of our things like currency conversions. You can even put in some complicated math expressions in here, and you get some evaluation of those. That's something we're continuing to partner closely with them and see what more we can bring from Wolfram Alpha into search. Yes. In April, we launched QR code sign-in, as well as a little like pseudo mode thing for those familiar with like GitHub. So you can very quickly just like pull out your phone, log into Kagi, no problem. In May, we expanded the capabilities of the Universal Summarizer to do some cool things like summarize recipes. So if you have a recipe link, and recipe sites very commonly are always plastered with ads, and usually not quite pleasant to use, but Summarizer will kind of like take away all that for you and give you just the details. In June, we relaunch, for those who've been here a long time, our custom Kagi base map, which looks beautiful, and try to show all these little details here. But I very much encourage you to go to kagi.com/maps and hold right click and pan around and like zoom in on all the details and like your local places and see all the cool little like trees and stuff that we have here. Maps is going to be kind of a much bigger focus for us in the coming year. So hopefully you'll have a much more competitive offering here going forward. So yeah, feedback welcome. Definitely give it a try and let us know where you'd like to see it go. In July, we launched the Search Builder, which kind of lets you, in a more kind of like natural way, show you how you can build more complex queries out of like, exact phrases, some of the filters, date ranges and stuff like that. And we also launched the new community Discord, which most of you are probably from, but if you haven't, if you're not on our Discord yet, you can go to kagi.com/Discord, and that'll drop you right in here, where I think we're approaching almost 5,000 members. So yeah, it's a great place. Answer questions, share things that you built with Kagi, like custom lenses, CSS themes, share feedback. Yeah, definitely join on in. In August, we're a little quiet because we were working on something. and that something was the broader launch of our assistant offering, which Lewis did a great presentation on a minute ago. So I won't go into too much detail again. But yeah, this was a big milestone for us to get this out the door. And as Lewis said, we're going to keep working on this so you get kind of the best LLMs with the best search results, and much more coming. So yeah. We also launched the store. So if you remember those t-shirts we talked about early in the year, we finally got those on some trucks and started shipping those to users. So you can go to store.kagi.com, and I believe shirts are still available if you're still interested in getting one. But yeah, some amazing pictures on there too of some actual people from our team as well. So it's very charming to see. So October is pretty stacked for us. We launched the Kagi Android app, which is not just a cool app that we're continuing to build on, but important for us because due to legislation in the EU, if the app has enough users, we can offer Kagi as in the custom choice screen on Android devices for default search, having Kagi as your default search engine. So we very recently passed that milestone, and we're seeing what the next steps are. So that's very exciting. But yeah, stay tuned for more news about our apps. We also launched some cool power user features, like snaps, which are very similar to bangs, where you can do, instead of where you do !R in a query to search for Reddit on something, you can do @R, and instead you'll stay on Kagi with a site filter instead, which can be very useful sometimes, load faster than maybe some of these other sites that you are searching for. Whole bunch of work we shipped this month was right off the back of our company retreat in Spain. Pictured here is like almost the whole company. So it was amazing seeing everyone, and it was very productive. Except a lot of the stuff we shipped in October was right off the back of this meeting. So yeah, super proud of everyone. We also launched AI image detection. So it's very common these days that, depending on your search terms, you can surface a lot of images that are a little bit unclear if they're actually like real images or not. Some of them are a little obvious, but yeah, we were able to put some engineering together to figure out, or does a pretty good job, but it'll indicate to you like which ones are probably AI generated, and you can control those with some filters in the menu as well. Yep. In the past quarter of the year, we've had a big focus too on expanding our community. So we're now present on just about every mainstream social media platform now. So shout outs to Ezra and other people on our marketing team who have been engaging with all our users there. But it's been very exciting to see, very heartwarming to see everyone their Kagi shirts and sending us so much good feedback and stuff. So yeah. October, we also upgraded some infrastructure. Some people might remember we had a very short window of downtime. Small point of pride that we, for almost since Kagi's inception, we had the smallest, cheapest primary database instance that you could get on GCP, our hosting platform. So it was, thesis was completely fine, but we figured, we should invest for the future and finally upgrade it. So we had a little send off where we took the site down for a little bit to upgrade that, make sure everything went smoothly, and yeah. So November, we launched Kagi Translate, which is definitely probably the best translation service out there right now. You can translate whole pages. You can do like individual, you can summarize like small chunks of text just like you would on the Google Translate. Yeah, definitely give that a try. It's free to use at translate.kagi.com. And this month we launched Kagi For Teams. So we've had a Teams plan in beta for a long time, and we finally kind of polished it up a bit and started shipping it to the general public. So today, if you're working at a startup or your company allows for it, you can join up with our Kagi For Teams plan and get a couple extra power features on top that make sense in the context of Teams, like sharing lenses together, sharing settings and other useful things like that. So yeah, that about covers it. Thank you so much. 2025 is going to be crazy, even crazier. So looking forward to going on the journey with everyone. So yeah, thanks so much.
And thank you very much, Zach, for this presentation. I hope everybody is excited about these features. If you haven't tried them yet, please make sure you do. Kagi also has very extensive documentation at help.kagi.com that can help you discover some of the features we have. For those of you asking what's happening with the iOS Kagi app, we have that ready. It's in test flight, and we are waiting for Apple's approval pending some changes we have to make. So that should be coming out early next year as well. Thank you, Zach, once again. And we're going to move to the next presenter. It's going to be Fernando, showcasing a pretty cool new piece of technology called Privacy Pass. Off to you, Fernando.
Thank you, Vlad. Hi, everyone. My name is Fernando. I'll be talking today about Privacy Pass authentication and the integration that we're going to be making with Kagi Search. Now, as you all probably know, Kagi is a company that is built around a mission, and that mission is to humanize the web. In particular, we're thinking about making a web more accessible and centered around the needs of individuals. And of course, this means that a lot of work has to be put into and a lot of thought into how to cater to this and how to make sure that their needs are aligned, the needs of our users are aligned to ours. This means that a lot of work is put into studying the right pricing plans, and also, of course, thinking through every choice and making available cryptocurrency payments for those that want to go more in the anonymity direction. And today, I'm going to be presenting our next step in strengthening the guarantees that we can offer our users. And this is authentication via Privacy Pass. Now, Privacy Pass is an anonymous authentication protocol. It has been in development for 4 years in a work group dedicated to it inside the Internet Engineering Task Force. And finally, in June of this year, it has been published in the form of 3 RFCs, and there are more to come. Now, conceptually, Privacy Pass is simple, and it's also a little bit magical. Crucially, with Privacy Pass, we can verify that, say, a search query comes from a paying account without knowing from which account it comes from. This is, of course, different from login, where you do a login and we are aligned not to look into who's searching and what are they doing with their searches. But here we're going to be able to go beyond our incentives and give you actually a very strong cryptographic guarantee that we can actually not tell at all where a search is coming from. We can just see that it's coming from someone that at some point paid for search with Kagi. And these guarantees are strong, and they're based on the solid theoretical groundwork published first at PETS, the best probably venue for privacy-enhancing technologies, and then, as I mentioned, developed into a usable standard by the IETF. The way we're going to be integrating this within Kagi is that we're going to be we're planning to release in early January 2025 integration with Kagi Search. This integration will be available for Orion natively and for Chromium-based and Firefox-based browsers via a browser extension. And of course, we will not just be releasing the extension, we will be releasing thorough documentation, and we will also be releasing source code, of course, so that everybody can check that our implementation is up to standard. Really, using Privacy Pass will be as simple as turning on a toggle inside the extension. And this is, I think, really a very interesting contribution, because it's keeping Kagi at the bleeding edge of privacy and anonymity technology, and it's also giving an important signal, I believe, to the privacy enhancing technology
Do not believe so.
science community out there, that where there's people in industry ready to implement this. So now I'm going to be passing it briefly to Brandon, who's going to be demoing also the extension so everybody can see what it looks like. Brandon, are you there?
Yeah. Yep, I am. Thanks, Fernando. Hi, so I'm Brandon. I work here at Kagi on the engineering team. And can people hear me? I'm frozen on my own screen.
I can hear you fine.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to give a quick demo of the Privacy Pass extension. And so it is just a new extension in the browser. What I'm showing here is going to be the development version of the extension, so a lot of these things won't actually show in the final extension. But the way that it works is I can execute a normal search here. So I will just load test, and you can see that I'm logged in. This is my normal account. And then what I can do is I can fetch some tokens. This is part of the Privacy Pass specification, and all of this will happen behind the scenes in the final version. And then I can turn on this toggle. I can reissue the same search. And what happens is that my authentication credentials are removed. A Privacy Pass token is sent instead. The server can verify that, is my screen being, okay, cool. Good look at the screen. Yeah, and so now instead we were sending a Privacy Pass token. The server can validate that a Privacy Pass token is valid, but we have no idea which user it came from. And that is that. And this will also work in incognito mode, and you can also inspect network traffic to confirm that nothing about your identifying user credentials are being sent. And then I can, turn this toggle off again and confirm that I go back to my normal search. Very simple demo, but a lot going on behind the scenes to make this technically work. Thanks to Fernando and the rest of the team for pulling it all together.
Thank you, Fernando and Brandon. And as you can see, we are now making a step forward and actually deploying technology that can guarantee that if you need them to be, your searches are cryptographically untraceable, basically. One thing to know is that because we don't know the account that is searching, that means that you also cannot use your preferences. Otherwise, the whole thing would not make sense. So there is a balance to be made. But we are going to make this available early next year in January with full documentation and source code released. So very excited about that, and making a big step towards technological guarantees that privacy is respected. It goes beyond Kagi's privacy policy, beyond Kagi's incentives, and actually have this in place. Okay, so thank you, Fernando and Brandon, again, and let's move on to Antonio, who will be presenting recently launched Kagi for Teams.
Sorry, I was muted. Hello, everyone. My name is Antonio. I work with the engineering team here at Kagi, and today I'm going to present about the team plan. As you know, Team Plan was released early this month, and we offer access to premium search via the Kagi free search engine, in addition to access to AI models from OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, Mistral, Meta, and Amazon in a secure workspace. And we also provide fair and flexible pricing where you pay only for active users. In terms of the pricing model, we have a professional that gives you access to unlimited Kagi Search with true data privacy. And we also have Ultimate that basically includes access to our assistant. Onboarding is pretty simple for Team Plan. You just sign up for a team account and provide a team name and a list of emails who are the team members for us to send the invites. Once this step is done, basically the owner of the team, right, can see all the data about the team members in this screen, where basically you can manage, you can invite more members from here. We do support 3 different roles. We have the admin that can do everything, including billing. We also have the manager that can add or invite more people to the team, but doesn't have access to the billing settings. And we also have the members. The members, they don't have settings access, but they can enjoy all the privileges of having an account with us. In terms of statuses for each member of the team, we have several. We have active, which means that the user has accepted the invite and is actively using Kagi. We have inactive, which means that this was a previous user who was active and has stopped using our services. So the owner is not going to be billed because of this user is inactive. And in addition to that, we have pending users who basically they have been sent the invitation, but that they haven't accepted yet. Or when the invitation is expired, you will see this for each of the users. And then again, we have the 2 different plans. Moving on to the next page, we also have a billing section where users have access to the payment information and also a link to Kagi APIs, where basically users can prepaid API credits so they can use the search APIs. One more. From the analytics view, it is possible for the owner to see the usage of Kagi for each team member. They can analyze the number of searches that users are doing, the AI interactions, and again, the status of each of these individuals. In terms of what is next for Team Plan, we're exploring different ideas about team spaces, team configurations, and custom assistants for the team. The last thing, I just wanted to give big kudos to everyone involved on this, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Antonio. So if you're working at a company, at a startup, at a team, you want the team to become more productive, use Kagi Assistant. It's super simple to get started. The pricing is very friendly. We don't charge an extra for team features. They're exactly the same price. And we go a step beyond that. If a team member is inactive, you don't pay for their seat. So it's fair, it's flexible, super powerful at an affordable price. Go to your boss and ask them to expense the Kagi account for your company. Thank you, Antonio, once again. And we're now gonna move to Kagi Translate. This is gonna be a recording by our team member, Ben, who lives in New Zealand, and it's 5 a.m. there right now. So he has generously recorded this, pre-recorded this, and David, I'll ask you to play the Kagi Translate demo. Okay. Seems like we are not hearing the sound. Is there anything we can do with this?
I think let's jump to the next section and we can go back to this. Let me see what we can do.
Okay, sure. Thanks, David. Okay, so let's move on to our community. We have a wonderful community here on Discord. The Kagi feedback forums, Orion browser feedback forums are one of the, but probably the most active feedback forums for a search in a browser product on the web. We have thriving social media. We are present on all accounts, and I'm gonna invite David and Lace to talk a little bit about this.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Lies, one of the newer Kagi team members. I work here as a community specialist, and I'm here to talk about the feedback forums, the special place they have in my heart, and the way you can help Kagi become even better, and how we can help you get the most out of your subscriptions and whatnot. So I'll just quickly introduce myself, tell you what we do, and then talk about the forums, how to actually create beneficial bug reports, how to suggest new features, and where to join the discussion. So I work as a teacher in my day job. I've been a Kagi user for almost 3 years. I think my 4th year will start in February or March next year. And I joined the team as a specialist in August of this year. But I've been here for quite a while, and I hope to be here for quite a bit more. So what do we community specialists do? We help you with everything Kagi has to offer. This happens on the forums, on Discord, wherever our users are, we will be there to help you do the things you want to do and achieve the things you want to achieve. We also, I help David maintain the documentation. All other users are also able to contribute to the documentation. I think David will tell us more about that momentarily. And the forums, they are the major feature in our community, I would say. And we have very active members. A lot of bugs and suggestions are posted every day, and most of them are very quickly fixed as long as they are reported properly. More about that in a second. And also we have the Discord server with almost 5,000 members, as was mentioned. There you can join for the more casual discussions, gauge people's interest in some new idea you might have. But for any serious customer support, you should always email our support email, and they will take care of you. So the forums, Kagi's primary function is to serve its users, and the feedback forums are how this becomes a reality. And anything from minor typos in Orion or in Kagi to major new features. I had a look at the most upvoted suggestions on kagifeedback.org. We had snaps, domain rewrite rules, custom bangs. All of those were ideas by the community, and then the team knew what to do and turned them into reality. On the right, you can see the suggestions and bug reports that are done, and that number is over 6,000 at the moment, which is outstanding when you realize how small the team is and the amount of work everyone puts in. So this is very smooth operation, and I am here to make it, or help you help the team and keep it that way. Then, so how are you going to be helping us? Or if you encounter something that annoys you, or you have something that you would like to see improved. So when you report something, be as clear as possible. If we don't have to think, that probably means that your idea is excellent or your bug report is very good. So there are some vague requests that are basically abandoned by the reporter as soon as they are posted. And that is quite annoying because we would like to fix them. If I go back to the stats here, you can see the clarification numbers. We have almost 1,000 issues that are just pending clarification because we don't know what the users are actually requesting or what the issue actually is. So one of my tasks is to reduce that number to as close as 0 as possible. And the more pictures you post about the issue, the better. So there are many issues that are simply solved by the user posting a picture, and then we are able to pinpoint what the issue is, whether it's some buggy Kagi custom CSS that is broken, or if the user accidentally has enabled compatibility mode in Orion, and that is why their favorite extension isn't working on YouTube, for example. And there is no unnecessary information. The more you tell us, the better. And if you are having any issues with any of these, the community specialists are here to assist you. There's me, and then there's Eric as well. You will find us on the forums, always asking for further information and asking you, basically, have you turned it off and on again? And some examples. So these are real examples. At the top is an Orion report about how to reproduce an issue with very detailed steps. So it's very easy for the developers to actually know what's going on and how to encounter the problematic state. And then we had some issues with the Chrome extension installs recently, and we had a bunch of reports from users who are frustrated, and then they post very unclear reports and being very annoyed, understandably, but luckily the issue in that case was quite clear. To join the discussion box and suggestions, go on the forums. For anything else, feel free to join the Discord. The link can be found in, or is, kagi.com/discord. And thank you. This is an amazing community, and I'm very happy to be a part of it and help us make Kagi as good as possible. And Kagi is here for the users, so none of this would be here without you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lois, for that, and standing up there despite the best efforts of the team to sabotage you. David, are you continuing the this presentation, or we can move to the translation one?
I'll first continue with the documentation and customer support,
Okay.
and then we can move to the other section.
Please. Sure.
Okay. All right, so I'm David. I'm the lead customer support for Kagi. Hope you can see my screen now. So today I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about our documentation and customer support. Let's start with the documentation. So if you haven't visited already, you can find our documentation in help.kagi.com. This is both for Kagi and Orion. And you can actually switch between one and the other here at the top right. You can click on Kagi or Orion. So to navigate the site, you can use the search bar. Here you can type your question using natural language. This uses AI, so you can just type it the way you want, and this will understand it and find the relevant information for you. For example, if I want to search what is Kagi Search, and this shows related results, I can click on one of them, and this takes me to the right answer for that. The other way to navigate is by using the sidebar. So here you can click on the different categories and navigate. My favorite one is the search features. So I recommend everybody visits this section so you can become familiar with the different features that we offer, with the latest features, and that way you can get more bang for your buck as well. For example, our snaps feature, as you see, we included a video here, and we try to make it very easy. It's also important to note that this is open source, so if you see anything that is not updated or you want to add more information, you can use that. All you need is a GitHub account and some Markdown knowledge. So I invite you to participate and contribute to our documentation. In terms of support, our support mailbox is available 365 days a year. So you can reach us out at support@kagi.com if you need any assistance, technical issues, billing issues, planning queries. Just reach out to us, and we'll be happy to assist you. And also, our social media, as you know, Vlad already mentioned. So our social media presence expanded this year. So now, in addition to being on X, we're also on Mastodon, Blue Sky, LinkedIn, Threads, Instagram, and Nostr. So feel free to take a screenshot here so you can follow us if you are not following us already. So, we post important updates in our social media as well. Okay, I think Antonio is gonna continue now and share Ben's recording for Translate. Okay, thank you.
Cool, let's give it a try.
I'm Ben. I joined Kagi about this time last year as part of the lads team. And since then, I've been working on Kagi Sidekick, a couple other internal projects we haven't released yet. And for the past several months, Kagi Translate, which is Kagi's latest product, which uses LLMs to translate text and websites from any one of our 248 supported languages to any one of our other 248 supported languages. And today I'll be giving you a quick demo of what we've built. So all you need to do is give it some text of the text language and translate it into any one of all these languages. Let's go for, I don't know, Hawaiian. Or maybe Afrikaans. And for our paying customers, we also just added voice outputs across all of our languages. Let's give it a try.
Kagi Translate lewer presiese vertaling oor 244 tale met behulp van gevorderde taalmodelle.
Let's try another one.
Kagi Translate жетілдірілген тілдік модельдерді қолданып, 244 тілде дәл аударма ұсынады.
Let's give maybe French.
Kagi Translate fournit des traductions précises dans 244 langues en utilisant des modèles linguistiques avancés.
So yeah, works across all of our languages. We actually found that it performs better than any other text-to-speech provider on most of our languages as well, which is pretty impressive. So give it a try. For our non-Latin languages, say Japanese, by the time you see this on Friday morning, we should also have romanizations available underneath the main translation. And yeah, that's about it for text translations. We can also translate websites. So let's convert kagi.com to Japanese. Oh, easy. It's normally not that fast. This one was cached. Let's try convert kagi.com to Korean. Yeah, there we go. We're working on reducing delay. Think in the next month we'll probably cut it in half. It's just been on the back burner while we focused on just improving text translation. There we go. whole thing translated. So yeah, that's about it. Give it a try. In the past month or so since we released it, we've made a lot of improvements, but in respect to reliability, performance, and usability. So give us another try if you already have. And yeah, leave your comments and Kagi feedback. Thanks for listening. See ya.
Okay, that was wonderful. I really love Kagi Translate. It's super easy to use. It's coming natively in Orion browser. I think we already pushed the support in the iOS version, coming soon to the desktop version. If you are using a different browser, we have a very convenient bookmarklet that allows you to select any text on page or translate the entire page using the superior translation technology powering Kagi Translate. Ben did do what he said he will, so we do have romanization deployed this morning, so for non-Latin languages. And there's so much more being done here. We're pretty excited about this. We're gonna invest heavily. I'm very excited about possibility to having search results automatically translated between any of these 200 something supported languages. So expect to see much more on this end, including a native app and things like that in the future. Okay. And thank you, Ben, for recording this. And I think that concludes the official presentations part of this session. And we're gonna move to questions and answers. Now, the preferred way for you to ask questions is through the website. wewerewondering.com. There is a link to this page in a Zoom chat. I have noticed that a couple of you have posted a question in Zoom. So perhaps, David, you can, or somebody else can move them to we were wondering, or I'll try to answer any of all of them anyway. Okay.
I
you
already
did
moved
already.
them here. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So my goal is to answer all of these and not leave anyone behind, which means that I may not have a lot of time to answer them because we have a lot of questions, but I'm going to give it my best. So let's start. And you guys can post questions as we go. Once I reach the end, will be the end of the Q&A part. So first question, how sustaining is your current pricing versus your cost? So Kagi has always maintained a responsible fiscal policy. We were not trying to grow at any cost. We were trying to build a sustainable, long-lasting business. We have a long-lasting vision to humanize the web, and we are currently break-even or slightly profitable. Obviously, that depends on the influx of new users and also the team expansion. So we are sort of maintaining slight profitability as of right now, and the business model is definitely profitable. Has there been any movement or even hint of interest from the platform, Apple, Microsoft, Google providers in allowing Kagi to be integrated as a system default? That's a great question. So we had some talks with these companies, and also there is regulation happening, especially in Europe, that is making these companies have to implement some of Kagi features. For example, on Apple devices in Europe, you can choose Orion as your default browser. On Android devices, once we pass 5,000 installs, we will be submitting a request to Google to also include Kagi Search as a default search engine. We are very close. We are over 4,000, so I invite you to install the Kagi Android extension so we can cross the 5,000 mark. But mostly this is coming from us, and our community is very helpful, especially with Apple. We have been trying to get as an option in Safari. For all of you who are using Safari, it hasn't been the best experience, even though we have an extension, it's not natively built. So the best you can do at this point is just send feedback to Apple. Apple is surprisingly responsive to this feedback, so you can just search on Kagi, send Apple feedback, and you will be able to send feedback to Apple asking for Kagi to be included. So, it's a bit of effort on our end. It's a bit of effort on your end. But as Kagi's recognition grows, I'm sure that these other companies will start considering being more friendly to Kagi users. Moving on to next question. AI slop is taking over search results, including by gaming SEO. Kagi has recently implemented a feature to label or exclude probable AI images. Is the team working on something similar for likely AI-generated text? All right, so this is a great question. It's a pretty hard problem to solve, as the AI-generated text is currently not as easy to spot as the images are. And we do have some models that can generate text, but most importantly, our approach and the way Kagi actually sorts and ranks results. And you guys know that we actively downrank websites that have lots of ads on them. The main point to know that the vast majority of AI-generated content and text is created for the purpose of being monetized by ads. That's like the main reason people do it. They spend money to create these crappy websites, then they put Google ads or something like on it, and they hope they will be profitable. Now, by the very virtue of us downranking websites with ads on them, we are sort of doing much better than any other search engine out there, which obviously cannot do the same. So I think we are in a fairly good position there already to begin with, obviously giving also users features like blocking websites that are annoying and things like that does help improve search results for Kagi users compared to any other search engine. So yes, I think we have both active and passive measures here in play that will continue improving. Do you think that Kagi is investing too much time into developing fad AI tools and not enough into improving the search experience? I don't. I think our search experience is great, and I don't think we are doing any fad AI tools. We are trying to do a very thoughtful, not rushed implementation of any AI technology, and some of them are super, super helpful. If you guys seen the Kagi Translate demo today, I think we all can agree that this is an example of AI done right. Any cool services, products, projects outside of Kagi that members of the team use but don't get enough attention but are highly recommended? Okay. So I'll ask the team members to step in and share if you use any cool services, products, projects outside of Kagi. Anyone?
I like
Once?
Obsidian and Signal.
Obsidian and Signal, okay. Anything else? Okay. Well, let me put a word out for Harry's shaving cream, which is the best shaving cream that I ever tried, and for Reef sneakers, probably the most comfortable shoes I use. So there we go. I don't know if that's what you expected, but that's the best we have. Let's move on. Can you clarify your position on the Brave Yandex discussions? Why are you so reluctant to allow users to exclude these endpoints if they find it important? So the way we consider features to prioritize and work is, pretty established. It depends on the number of upvotes, so how many users want something, the impact on the community, so how many people would ultimately benefit. And this is one of those features which is pretty tough for us to do, mainly because it doesn't improve the quality of search. So by excluding any source, and we spend a lot of time optimizing what sources we use, how we use them. There are all these algorithms. It's a very complex mechanism that ensures that you guys get the best search results out there. So this is something that when used will almost definitely guarantee the search results to be worse. The second thing to have in mind is that Kagi really doesn't save searches. And when you guys report a quality issue with search, it's already super hard for us to debug why is somebody seeing some result and somebody else isn't, and there are already complexities in place like different regions and things like that. Now imagine if you also could pick and choose the sources you're using. Now we have no idea, like the complexity of us debugging any search issue is becomes super hard. So I wouldn't say that the reluctance is just like we are considering this as any other feature, and if the majority of community wants to have that, we'll probably do it. But it would make search worse, and it would make debugging search quality issues much, much worse. Let's move on to the next question. Are there plans to allow pro subscribers to have some access via API as part of the subscription? Yes, we do plan to do that. Once we officially launch the APIs, we have some APIs launched. The search API is not yet officially launched. It's in beta. Once we launch this, hopefully in first quarter next year, we will also give or include some credit to existing subscribers so they can easily try the API, probably proportional to the subscription, something like that. Okay, next one. I heard Kagi wants to compete with the Google apps, Mail, Docs. Is this something you still plan to do? If so, do you think it'll be possible with the minimal data collection, optional JS standard of current Kagi Search, or will some things need heavier apps and more collected or more data collected store or something else like Proton email style end-to-end encryption? Yeah, so we do have plan to slowly but surely expand our product portfolio and really offer a holistic replacement for big tech that is friendly to you and friendly to the web. Thanks to our commitment and business model. And that does include products like email, which we are actively working on. Now, with email specifically, obviously you need to store data, you need to store these emails. It will be the first Kagi product where we actually will be storing any data to begin with. So we're gonna approach that as seriously and as far as technology allows us. So you can rest assured that whatever Kagi does will have privacy at the forefront, and I hope that the privacy pass implementation of a fairly new protocol in a fairly fast time by Kagi team is a witness to our dedication and commitment to that. Let's move on to the next question. Are there any plans for an iOS app similar to the Android version? Yes, as I said, it's already built, it's in test flight, and we hope to be launching that early next year. What is preventing it is really the Apple Store guidelines that if you have a product that you can pay for, it has to go through Apple Store Pay basically, and we are trying to find a way around that. That's really the only reason it's not out yet. With Kagi Mail in the making, you keep saying that it doesn't subtract from search as that's a separate team. I don't see how that can be true. that team could be doing something else. Any comment about that? I don't really care if you keep building tools that seem useless, but I think your statement makes no sense, and I thought I'd ask if you can rephrase or shed more light. Well, I say that check our change log and find a company that ships more stuff than we do. And if you really think we are not shipping enough, we can have a serious discussion. Otherwise, we are executing on our strategy. Our goal is to create a product portfolio that provides a holistic replacement for big tech that does include email. One of the things that you also have to understand that Kagi is trying to compete on value and not price. So you have all these products out there that are already free, whether ad supported or VC subsidized, and our really place in the market is creating a super high quality integrated product portfolio that's cross-product, cross-platform, cross-device. You can use everywhere, and you don't even need to touch any of the big tech products that want you for your attention and data. So Curious will continue doing that, and if you think there are particular features that we should be focused on, please let us know through Kagi feedback. And in the meantime, the team will just keep shipping a ton of stuff every single week. Any plans to make new themes for Kagi or some place to share user-created themes? Yes, it's one of those things that you can upload already on Kagi feedback as a feature suggestion. We should do a better job. It's just a matter of prioritization as everything else. We do have in our documentation, one thing you can do, by the way, you can use a help bank, which directly searches our documentation. So if you do help bank, Kagi themes, or custom themes, you'll probably land on a page directly where we have a collection of, I believe, about 20 user-generated themes already that you can easily use, but obviously having some interface in the UI would be preferable, and we'll pay some attention to that. Again, depends on your interest, so go upload that feature on Kagi feedback. What is the timeline for moving FastGPT out of beta? What improvements are planned for FastGPT? FastGPT is really already out of beta. We don't plan to improve it much more. It's a super simple demonstration of technology that, Kagi actually launched FastGPT over 2 years ago. We were sort of one of the first on the market to merge search and AI. But we do not really plan to expand more on it. It's just a technology prototype. There's some people I know like and use because it's very fast compared to other AI searches. We plan to keep improving the assistant, and that includes obviously using AI in the context of search to find answers quicker. So that goes for FastGPT. Do you have plans to add other LLM models in the future? If so, from who? Yeah, I think we pretty much cover all of them already. I think we have models from 7 companies already implemented, all the top models, obviously. It's unlimited use, so I think we're already doing a pretty good job. If you have a specific model in mind, please submit a Kagi feedback feature request. The main advantage of Kagi is providing better search quality. You are spreading to a range of services that are very competitive and dominated by well-funded, experienced teams, tools, maps, translate, email. How do you think that you can make better services that are already established tools instead of many mediocre services? Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. You try our products and determine if they are better or not. I think nobody thought you could build better search than Google, yet we did. And Kagi Translate is the best translation out there right now. So obviously our goal is not just to create products for the sake of products, but make them so good to pass our own high standards and make them so good that you guys would pay for them. Otherwise, we know we are competing with free stuff out there. So we know that everything we make has to be 10 times better. So that's given. Again, we are executing on a strategy, and if at any point the products are not as good, please let us know, and we'll fix that. Are there any plans to do company assets indexing now that you start offering Kagi for Teams? Yeah, so you see, and here's an example of two forces at play. Some people would like us to focus on less things. Some people would like us to focus on more things. Again, the way we do prioritization has to do a lot with user feedback. So people want us to do something, and a lot of you guys want us to do that. We're going to do that. I don't think right now there is demand for Kagi to be indexing local files in a company environment. There are already companies doing that, and I'm not sure what we can bring to the table. So I would say that's not top of my mind. That may change if we suddenly get 100 companies asking us to do that because they don't trust other players, obviously. So I would say this is a dynamic decision. How's the team doing these days? Everyone in Christmas mood? Yes, I think you can see by what I'm wearing and some of our presenters as well that we are indeed. Happy holidays, everybody. Search is an expensive business, no doubt here. And as such, are there plans to distribute, as in distributed systems, the index and do a hybrid search engine that could be self-hosted? No, there are no plans to do that. Any plans to add plug your API to the custom assistant, similar features mini GPT so that the AI can call the API? Yes, I think that makes a lot of sense. And our next generation assistant that we briefly showed today, I do expect to have support for plugins or whatever you want to call this. Anthropic has published the MCP server protocol. There is no standard yet, but definitely I think it's something that we want to do and sort of enable some kind of API where you can make our existing assistant even more powerful by defining your own custom tools, which is different, by the way, than the custom GPTs on OpenAI. Yeah, we'll talk more about that later. Were there early design for the Dogo mascot? No, the Dogo was as cute and as good looking from the very first version, thanks to Tamara, our brand designer. What are the costs for running your free AI services such as Translate or FastGPT? Well, they are manageable. And we hope we have that annoying CAPTCHA that sort of prevents bot usage. And the CAPTCHA is not there, obviously, if you're a Kagi user, but yeah, we keep that under control. Are there plans to make a dedicated Kagi Translate app? Yes, we want to do that. Any plans to open source parts of Kagi.com, such as front end or some widgets? There are a lot of things of Kagi.com that is open source already. I think we have like 15 open source repositories for various services, tools, index stuff that we use. So I don't know if you have already checked that out. Specifically about front-end widgets, yes, this is something we want to do. We plan to redo the widgets completely in Kagi, make them much more useful, beautiful, and as a part of that, allow users to create custom widgets, which means you can define, you can make your own widget. For example, if you're a Magic the Gathering player like I am, and you want to find a Magic card, you could create a custom widget in Kagi that would render the preview of the card. And for this to happen, we will have an open source SDK and things like that. So this is all planned for next year. Is Kagi considering white labeling its search and answers so the sites can embed its functionalities? Yes, I think that is something we will be doing, especially once we open up the search API publicly, which should happen in Q1 next year. So very much looking forward to that. And we actually build a product called Sidekick that goes beyond this and provides direct answers to questions about websites. So yeah, we are looking to have all that come together next year. Google has Google Alerts, which lets a user know when there's notable new results for a given search. Will implementing this be feasible? Yes, there is a Kagi feedback thread for this. Go upvote and add your thoughts. And once this comes and to our roadmap, we'll do it. I think it is useful. We just want to see a bit more demand for that before we commit. Any plans to improve the UX design? Brave Search did a very good job, for example. Yeah, I won't comment design much. I think that's a matter of preference. I personally very much like our design, and you can also change it with a custom CSS. Like we have 20 plus themes, as we already discussed. So what I will note is that we are doing a redesign of some of our features. We are going feature by feature, and some of that you will already see today with the redesigned YouTube results. I don't know if that's live yet. If not, it will be later in the day. So we're basically going screen by screen, feature by feature, and redesigning things. So hopefully you guys will like it. What is Orion? Why isn't it available on other platforms? Orion is Kagi's browser, zero telemetry with a built-in ad blocker powered by WebKit. With support for Safari, Chrome, and Firefox extensions. It's a pretty unique browser, like nothing out there. And the best thing ever, it has a paid business model. It doesn't collect your data. It doesn't show you ads. It doesn't have anything of the sorts. And you can pay to own your browser. And it's only $150 for a lifetime license to own your browser and support Orion development. It's currently available on macOS, iOS, and iPadOS. We are starting development for Linux soon, and Windows development will be, resource permitting. It's pretty hard to build a browser from scratch, which Orion is. Are there any plans to change the pricing in the near future? No, definitely. If you're asking, will the prices go down? I don't think that will be the case. If anything, I'm looking into creating even more valuable products, creating a Kagi bundle. And I think the way that this is going for subscription-based services, and you can see it in the example of OpenAI launching a $200 plan, is you're trying to really offer a lot of value that still is a fraction of the cost that you would have normally to pay for. And I think we are thinking in the same direction. How do you see Perplexity and how do you plan to compete with them? They're getting more and more popular, and the simplest service together with the user interface is pretty good. I think Perplexity did a pretty good job at evangelizing the AI search space. And it's a pretty deep topic, but I'm still not sure that the preferred method of information gathering is that where AI picks the answers for you. I still like to be in control, and this is why we are building these features, I think, more thoughtfully, and it's taking a bit more time. But we really want to keep the user in control and treat AI as a tool. Having said that, it's clear that also the paradigm of search is moving towards easier access, natural language input and output. And it's unclear that 10 links on a page will survive in a 5-year time. Having said that, the main difference between services like Perplexity and us is that we are doing this with our mission in mind, creating a business model which fully aligns users and us, where Perplexity has already switched to ads, and obviously they probably cannot fund their business from subscriptions alone, so they're basically switching to ads, which I think will deteriorate the quality of the service over time. Same like it did for Google. Like in the beginning, 20 years ago, it was fine. You had one ad, but shareholder pressure, revenue pressure. I don't see a way for that not to spoil that user experience that you may like right now. And if it's going to be subscription based, then I think we already have a competitive product. Like Kagi Assistant has more models available. Kagi Assistant has Kagi Search underneath it, unlike Perplexity. So much better results, many more models, similar price. So I think we are very competitive already. How are you measuring the quality of the search results? Well, I personally, I use Kagi every single day. I have pretty high standards for search quality. So, that looks fine. But more importantly, I just listen to what you guys are telling us. And our users are not shy. So whenever we have a search quality issues, that surfaces either through support, through a feedback forum, through Discord, you guys tell us, like, this is not working, this is working, why I don't have this, why I have, so we don't use telemetry. The question was around that. We really rely on user feedback for everything, including browser, including search. And luckily, we have such a community which is happy to share all this. And this is how we know. The moment something is wrong, you guys are very loud about it. I love paying for Kagi and not being the product, but as data breaches can happen to anyone, minimal user data retention would be great. An astounding opportunity to combine both is Cashew. Do you have plans regarding Cashew implementation? What do they look like? So I don't know what Cashew is, unfortunately. I'm guessing some kind of crypto payment methods. What I can say, we have Bitcoin Lightning already implemented. And if you want to see Cashew implemented, please post a feature suggestion on Kagi feedback detailing what it is, the implementation details, how would you like to see it implemented, and we'll consider. Just to go to the previous point, we already have minimal user data retention. Like Kagi doesn't save your searches or anything like that. So, and we are introducing privacy pass as we already had. So, we are happy to implement more billing methods, but we'd rather focus our resources on search than expanding our billing, which is already complicated to begin with, to be honest, and it has been quite a pain to manage. So please create a feature suggestion. Again, hopefully we get demand from users, and then we'll consider it seriously. Why is the privacy respecting service avoiding all the privacy respecting Zoom alternatives for a surveillance platform? I think honestly, like we tried many of these, that they didn't allow us to do what we need to, which is like have a stream with multiple panelists. Like it was surprisingly hard to find one. And trust me, we didn't want to use Zoom for this. We had to pay like a few $100s just to make this recording. So if you have a better idea which supports multiple panelists and recording and all the features that Zoom has, just please let us know or email me, and we'll do it next time. We just couldn't find it in the limited time we had. Are you still able to index new Reddit content, or does the robots TXW prevent that? Yeah, you can find all the fresh Reddit content on Kagi, no problem. Have you created any personas that you keep in mind when develop Kagi things? I mean, we know that Kagi is loved with the tech savvy community. Lots of developers out there using Kagi. Lots of people in the knowledge work field, the journalists. So we sort of have a broad idea of who is currently using Kagi, and we certainly try to optimize the experience for these kind of users, or definitely power users. What's your favorite color? Blue. Any plans for donating to more open source projects that are used internally? Maybe smaller projects, only 2 projects are listed that you're donating to at the moment. Well, I don't know what the right number of the open source project donation is. We support Python and Crystal language. So, obviously a matter of balance. What partnerships is Kagi exploring to expand reach and offerings while balancing cost and fragmentation of teams? There are a couple of interesting partnerships down the road that we are not ready to announce yet, but we are working on, and hopefully we'll be able to do so. And similarly, if you or your company or know somebody who would benefit from partnering with Kagi, please let us know. My email is vlad@kagi.com, open 24/7. Have you considered fleshing out the news section into a more feature-rich news aggregator? Most options these days limit what control you have over what's shown. And I think Kagi's philosophy could really differentiate in space. Yes, we actually have a product that's already in testing with our contributor community, which is our take on news. And it's pretty cool. And we hope to be able to launch that soon. I use it daily, and it has replaced news consumption completely for me. Will FastGPT ever become a digital assistant on Android? Yeah, so I already commented on FastGPT is really not the direction we want to take this. We are creating a fully featured assistant that, among other things, can also search the web. And we will definitely create a native Android and iOS and even desktop apps for them. And a lot of those things will hopefully happen in the next year. Have you considered using Orion Plus as a benefit of all Ultimate subscribers? We did, but we also sort of acknowledge Orion is available only on one platform right now, and we don't want to feel we don't want the Ultimate subscribers to feel like they're paying for something they cannot use. So we're definitely planning to have a Kagi bundle sort of plan that will incorporate all our services and products once we have a portfolio built. So that will happen. What are the future plans for AI-related features? I think we covered that already, so I'll just skip that. Yeah, so the situation with Google Perplexity, I think I already covered that as well, so let's skip that. Will there be a native app for Assistant? Yes. Is it possible to improve search performance, decrease latency? Yes. We know there are still issues that sometimes happen where we have unexpectedly high latency or even like broken search result pages. We are currently performing a major refactor of the search stack, and I hope to see improvements for that early next year as well. Sorry for that. We obviously care very much about latency, and we'll be fixing that as soon as possible. Are there any internal code names for projects that are now available in public so can be revealed? Nothing comes to mind, sorry. And I want to get through the rest. How many more we have, David? Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Well, I think in the interest of time, I will stop here. And I hope you guys can appreciate. For any remaining questions, please feel free to go back to the site and upload them, and we will cover them separately in a changelog update or somehow else. But since there are a few dozen questions left, and we already are we've broken our time window, so I'd like to stop here and pause. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like what we presented. I hope you stay using Kagi and send us feedback how to improve the products. And we very much hope to have a event like this time next year. So between then and now, happy holidays. Thank you for being Kagi customers. And thank you so much for all the support, spreading the word and making Kagi possible. Thanks, everybody. And in the name of the entire Kagi team, have a happy holidays and see you next year.